Yomo from Yomo and Malky allegedly came up with the name N.W.A. What can you tell us about Yomo and Malky? They don't get mentioned too much other than on this show, and I've seen a few other people notice I mention them, but Yomo and Malky.
I don't know if that's exactly true.
Okay, break it down.
I know Yomo. Yomo has been on. Yomo's a friend of mine. I don't know Moki that well. I might know him when I see him, but I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. He mentioned something like that, but I don't recall that really happened. My understanding it happened a totally different way because, excuse me, they were trying to figure out something that was going to be shocking that could compete with Luke Skywalker and his whole sex thing and the gangster reality, the reality, the street rap, the reality raps were they're out, and the word nigger was still very taboo at the time. So to be able to call themselves niggas with attitudes was a shocking situation. They just shortened it to N.W.A. That was my take on it. Because again, people keep forgetting when they first came out, they was doing Wrecking Crew shit, something to dance to in Panic Zone. They weren't doing. And then they did. Their first single was "Express Yourself." Okay, that was not a gangster song. That was just a good song that they redid from the Watts 103rd Street Band. Come on, man, let's go back. That's not just ride the surface. Let's go a little deeper now. You'll start seeing that it morphed into something else. So for it to be beginning hardcore, it was never hardcore at the beginning. It was more street, but it wasn't hardcore.
All right, let's get to some questions from the audience. Once again, these are things that we've discussed in the past, but we have new listeners all the time, new viewers. So let's answer it, Lonzo. The beginning scene in Straight Outta Compton. Lou wants to know the beginning scene in Straight Outta Compton, where the house gets raided and Eazy E jumps out the window. Is that true?
No, man, I don't see that
Started
happening.
off with some BS on him with the movie.
You know, y'all got to remember that was a movie. It wasn't a documentary. Okay. When Superman walked into the phone booth, he didn't change his clothes, and nobody can tell me that you couldn't tell that Superman and Clark Kent wasn't the same person just by putting on a pair of goddamn glasses. That's bullshit. So yeah, that didn't happen in real life. That was a good opening for a movie, but it wasn't. It was that time. All the pieces fit. Because Gerald Gates had the police officer, the chief of police had the battle ram, and I don't even think the battle ram was even in Compton, to tell you the truth. That's the LAPD thing. Now, unless that was being taken, unless that was, there was no battle ram in Compton. The battle ram was strictly a LAPD thing. Maybe the sheriff had one too, but Compton was not patrolled by sheriff at that time. So that's Compton PD didn't have a battle ram. So no, that didn't happen, Doc.
That was one of the first hip hop songs I fell in love with. I was 6 years old. I had no idea what a battle ram was, but I was singing the song. It was just a melody and everything. What do you remember about when that song came out, Lonzo? Do you know any inside scoop of how it came out? We've had Toddy T on the show. It's been some years, but maybe we can bring it back on sometime in the near future. But can you talk to us about Toddy T, and not only Toddy T, but the late, great Mix Master Spade?
Those guys were the triple OGs of Compton rap, dude. They were doing reality rap before it was even named reality rap. Mix Master Spade had one track. I think that was Genius of Love. That he did everything to. He was just using it for different shit and sell his tapes. And Toddy T said, "Hey man, I saw my boy making money," and he started rapping himself. And he did something a little different, and that was the Battle Ram. And he hooked up with my boy Leon Haywood. Leon Haywood had a label called Eve Jam Records. Eve Jam was over on Crenshaw, off of MLK. And if y'all don't know who Leon Haywood is, Leon Haywood was the one that did "I Want to Do Something Freaky to You," which later became the song from Dre.
G-Thang.
G-Thang. That's the same. It's the same song. Okay. G-Thang ain't nothing but "I Want to Do Something Freaky to You" by Leon Haywood. So Leon Haywood was a local label owner that gave Toddy T a deal, but he also had record connections because Leon was shit in the 70s. When he had all his teeth, he was the shit. That was a joke. That was a joke we had. Cause Leon, we take him out to eat a corn on the cob. He only had like 7 teeth. That's my dude. That's my dude. And I love him to death. He passed. We talked. I'm not saying shit while he gone. That I didn't tell him to his face. He would clown my studio. Got your little 3-track studio over there. Think you're making records over there. He just corn on the cob. Work on that for a minute. Call me when you get through. Shit.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. The good old days, dude. Art Chavez wants to know, Lonzo, during your performances, do you pass out in the crowd any vinyl or cassette tapes? Is that still true today, passing out CDs or other collectibles? What has changed? I don't really understand the question, but maybe you do. What I guess he's asking if you ever pass anything out during your shows.
Man.
Any collectibles? And why
No,
that's not a thing nowadays, I think.
We used to do that back in the day. We used to do that. That would be something we would take records, promos, and just throw them in the audience. And then they made to stop doing it. If somebody got hit upside the head, they didn't trip, but the promoter tripped and he could have got sued. Okay? You throw a record at somebody and you fling it out there, that's something that's flying. That's a pretty nice size frisbee. And it knocked it out of somebody one day. And then people got to fighting because you're only throwing out one. And sometimes it would cause a melee, and we stopped doing it.
Let me ask you, I recently did a piece on my channel on Terry B, who was signed to Eazy E's Compton Records. Now, the main way people may remember Terry B is she was the white girl that Eazy E signed. There are several pictures of her and Eazy on the net right now, but do you know anything about Terry B? And do you know anything, did Eazy ever talk to you about Compton Records and that whole thing?
Compton Records was actually the parent company of Ruthless Records. Nobody don't know that. There was another Ruthless Records, and the guy wouldn't sell the name to him. It was another corporation named Ruthless Records, and the guy wouldn't sell the name to him. So Eazy founded Compton, and he made Ruthless a subsidiary of Compton. True story. Look it up.
Okay.
Look
but
it
do you
up.
know anything about Terry B, the white girl?
Nah, man, that was past me. She got past me. All I know is her and Dre had issues. That's all I know.
Okay.
I know she was pretty good. I know she was a pretty good rapper, but I never met her. I can't recall ever meeting her in person.
Okay. Strictly Funk says, Lonzo, is Bootsy Collins the godfather of funk?
I would say George Clinton would be, if anybody was. If anybody would be godfather of funk,